Hello, welcome to my bookshelf, and today I will be doing my review of Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. That was a mouthful. I really like the title of the book, actually. I love the names, and it really is just trying to get at the heart of things, isn't it? Because that's really ultimately what this book is about. It's about these two boys trying to discover what the world is all about. Yeah, I absolutely love this book. I was not expecting it to like it as much as I did. I actually give it 5 out of 5 stars. It's definitely a book that I would love to reread and to just have in my collection one day. So I don't say that about a lot of books. So I really, really liked it. Basically, this book is all about identity. So it hits home on a lot of deep topics and really important topics. So I also like that it's not just about who we perceive ourselves to be in just kind of like the general sense. I like that it delves into very specific areas of identity. You know, what role do we play in our own family? What role does our culture play into who we are as a person? Aristotle and Dante are both Mexican Americans, so they have to grapple with these two different cultures that they've been exposed to and try to really figure out what being a Mexican means to them and what being an American means to them. And then there's also, just general like sexual identity. These are young boys or teenagers, so they're just starting to, be interested in, sexual things. So it was really interesting to see them grow into that as well. So there's a lot of growing up that happens throughout this book. And I like that there were hints of all these different kinds of identity throughout. I would say also because both of these are boys, young men, and they're trying to figure out what it means to be a man. What does it look like for a man to express their feelings? Because we all experience, traumatic, horrible things in our lives, and holding it in and holding it to ourselves and not letting anyone else in doesn't do anyone any good. And ultimately, it bottles up inside, and it needs to find a way out. And if you don't ever let it out, it's very dangerous. So a lot of really interesting topics in this book, and I would say one downfall to this book is that I don't know if it gives each part of this like identity crisis enough time and space in this book. Like the cultural stuff I found to be super interesting, but honestly it's not in there that much, and I would have liked to have more of that. And also, I would have enjoyed a lot more of the family dynamic in the sense of like sibling relationships. We get a lot of the, parent-child dynamic, which I think is really important and something that's not really shown a lot in books or just media in general. So I really, really appreciated that. But Aristotle does have siblings, but they're all older and then none of them live in the house anymore. So he's virtually an only child, and so is Dante. Dante actually is an only child, so it missed that, sibling relationship that most people have. So I would have liked to have seen that as well, but I did appreciate getting to see the parents and really honing in on their relationship, because like I said, it's something that's ignored a lot. Parents just tend to just be there just to be there in books, and they don't really do anything. And I also like that these parents were like fleshed out humans, who made mistakes, and despite the fact that they do make mistakes, they have a genuine relationship with their son that they're able to move past it and to, fix it. It's a beautiful example of what families should be. And again, they're not perfect. They do make mistakes in this book, but they're not bad people. They're still good parents. They're still trying as hard as they can to be good parents, but it's not so easy. But the important thing is that they actually have a genuine relationship with their son, so they're able to overcome it and deal with it. So there's a lot of really good themes in this book, which is why I gave it such a high rating. Like if you would read a synopsis, it'd probably just talk about, the friendship between these two boys. And while that's really important to the story, to me, it wasn't like the most important part of the story. I honestly felt it was more just about identity and discovery and figuring out who you are as a person and trying to figure out where you fit in this world. So I think that the story was really well written. I felt very connected to the characters. They seemed all very fleshed out, and I got a lot of cinematic qualities to it. Like, not only could I picture what was happening, but I also could like sense the emotion that we're supposed to feel in that moment, you know, for these characters. There's just like a certain mood and tone of the book, and that really came across very well, and I could feel it when I read it. Despite like what I'm feeling in my own world, I'm sucked into their world and I'm feeling things the way that they're feeling it. So even, you know, when something bad happens to them, I'm feeling it. And, you know, I really empathized with the characters, and like I said, they were very well fleshed out characters. They weren't flat at all. They were very complex, and I felt like they were real people. But I don't know if he's written any other books, but I'd be curious to find out and to read more of his, because I absolutely love this book. It was really, really good and just really well written and just a really enjoyable experience. So I'm really glad that I picked it up for the Booktubeathon, and I hope to add it to my collection one day. I guess one last thing I could say, though this is going to jump into a spoiler. So, spoiler warning, if you haven't read this book, do not watch the rest of this video. I don't want to spoil your experience, but I do want to just mention, you know, just a reaction that I had personally to part of the book. That would be a spoiler. So, here's your warning. Okay, so this is kind of weird to talk about, but so Dante, he expresses being attracted to Aristotle fairly, well, I think it's probably like halfway through the book, maybe the first third of the book. So he expresses being, I don't know if he says he's bisexual, but at the very least he has this homosexual attraction to Aristotle. Aristotle's not having any of it. He's not interested in that. And I think that for the most part, Dante, he's accepting of that, and he doesn't really push too much. He does push a little bit, but he is a teenage boy, so for the most part, he respects his, you know, like, hey, that's not me kind of a thing. So at the very end of the book, like, they end up together, and to me, I don't know, it just came out of nowhere to me. I would say, like, if I had to pick, like, something that I didn't really like about the book, it would be that, just because, like, it seemed to come out of nowhere for me. I didn't really get any inkling or any sign that he was feeling that way at all. So it was bizarre to me that Aristotle was like, oh, I guess I'm gay too. And I like Dante that way. It just, I don't know. It just seemed out of place to me personally. That's just my opinion. So I was like, I could have done without that, but okay, I guess. I mean, I kind of got the sense that that's where they were going to take it, but I don't know. I just, like, reading from Aristotle's perspective, I didn't get anything that was saying, like, hey, I like him more than a friend. All of it pointed to actually the opposite. Like, I just like him platonically. I didn't get any vibes from him before this. I mean, I could tell that Dante really liked Aristotle. That was evident, you know, in a sexual way. Like, I got that. But I didn't get those vibes from Aristotle at all. There was nothing from his perspective that really hinted at that to me. So, I don't know. But rant aside, I still really enjoyed this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I really love this writing, and I'd be curious to read more from this author. Alright, so please let me know what you think about my review in the comments below. I'd be curious to hear your opinion. And as always, thank you for watching this video, and until next time.